Monster Mania 53, Zolocon 2023, DC keys, and more. So let's talk about it. LCS love, always showing love to the LCSs, and of course my home base, Panther Comics. If you're in the greater Philadelphia area, come stop by and let us know who sent you. Hit up a few other stores in my area, one of them being Heroes in Mount Holly, always a great store. I picked up like a Thor run filler, some dollar bin books, and almost a full run of Creature Commandos, just shy of the number one. Of course, great time to be looking for number one, but I'm sure I'll find one for the cheap. I also picked up the ample timed My Bloody Valentine NECA release while I was there. He was one of those ones that I remember when it came out, and I passed on it. I don't know why, and I always kind of regretted it. So, I'm glad to pick him up, and he was on sale, so that was perfect. So he came home, and he's got a couple great weapons. I love the whole figure's nice head to toe. And I love that the box of chocolates opens up and you actually see the heart on the inside. That was really cool. I also hit up some antique stores. Nothing too crazy, you never know what you're going to find. My guy had some Golden Age books. Atlas issues was good to pick up. Kid Cult Outlaw and Justice. Low grades, always better than no grades. And you don't see those really every day. And Batman Son of the Demon it needs to be flattened out, but it's one of those great minor Radical Cool keys and Damian Wayne keys. And then I hit up a couple other antique spots. Overall, just some small stuff here and there. Nothing too crazy. And I did a lot of dollar bin digging. If you want to see more of the dollar bin stuff, go check out my video from a few weeks ago. It'll be in like my last 2 or 3 videos, and there's always some highlights in there, some exciting stuff. But let's talk about the cons. This was a great time for cons. I went to 2 main ones, a couple of small ones, some dollar shows I talked about there. But this is my 4th Zolocon in a row, and it's a great venue. I believe I did a video in the last one I went to. The Fuge is a perfect spot to do a show, but I will say the deals weren't the same this time. And, it is what it is. A lot of awesome vintage stuff, but some of it was kind of priced to 2022 pricing. As we know, the market kind of came down the last year. So it's just some stuff didn't really quite match where I want to be on it. But hey, what are you going to do? There's just a lot of cool stuff in the room. I almost picked up this Golden Age Alan Scott Green Lantern issue. I just couldn't land on a comfortable price that me and the seller were comfortable with, so I decided to pass. But it's still really cool to be able to flip through it, and it's just something you never see, especially something you don't see every day. But I picked up a couple small things. Mr. Miracle's Origin issue. It's those first appearance of Hyman and someone I forget off the top of my head, but I always love picking up those New Gods issues. Iconic Jack Kirby work, and you can pick up a lot of New Gods minor stuff, even the major stuff for relatively cheap. I picked up another horrible 98 Godzilla figure that I always buy it to have it anymore. And I kind of overpaid for this Fett figure, but I've been looking for him since he came out. I haven't really found one anyways other than online. And I know he goes for a couple bucks, but he's awesome. And I'm going to put him with my Life Day display for the holiday special. Even though I know it's the Droids version, it's the same thing, and he's awesome. I just need the R2 from that line now. And the best pickup there was a near-complete Alligator board game from 1989. I know what you're thinking. Why would I want this? And, well, that's a dumb question. Not only is it the shit, but it's an ideal release in the spirit of the iconic horror flick of the same name, and it's just awesome. It's also a giant vintage alligator that, bears a striking resemblance to the monster in the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere. Just saying. Overall, it's a great show. That was a cool piece. It still has the box. Some of the buildings inside, it's got the spinner, it's got the instructions. It's an awesome piece. It's just something you don't see every day. And I got it for a price I couldn't say no to. And it looks great on display. But it's a great show. Shout out to all the vendors and the hosts. Definitely something worth putting on your calendar at the least. Monster Mania 53 was a highlight for the year. Great vendors and hosts, solid venue, and top-of-the-notch deals. I mean, I probably spent a little bit too much, but hey, what are you going to do? Next time I go, probably bring more money, but also I might go to 2 days instead, instead of 1, because I was there from open to almost close with my buddy, and we spent the whole time in the 3 vendor rooms and the vendor hallway area, because there was just so many tables, and I just kept on doing laps and finding new stuff. I swear I went to the same tables 5 times, and every time I found new stuff. So that's Always great because sometimes shows can get a little dry. There's plenty of deals to be had. Shout out especially to the teams behind Vinegar Syndrome and Trauma. Go check out Dan the Tromite's channel if you haven't already. And I ended up with a couple movies from them and this vintage 1983 poster they actually found in the basement of their warehouse, which is awesome that it's still there. And, if you spent X amount or more at the Trauma table, you would get a strip of the film from the original Toxic Avenger. So, I needed that. And I still need to get a nice shadow box or frame to put the pair together and put them on my wall. But that was just too cool to pass up. Also picked up a Blu-ray of the OG Toxic Avenger film, because how can you not? And Surf Nazis Must Die, because, that's a hell of a flick. And in the Vinegar Syndrome had a combo deal for 3 standard release discs. Snagged Flesh Eater, which is an awesome movie. Grave Robbers and Body Melt off of them. Plenty of great other deals out there. See some more movies on the cheap, some trashy flicks like Deathbone and Elliot. But overall, some films that you might see me do a review on in the future Octobers. So speaking of great movies to review, I picked up a Monstars green slime figure. Monstars do a great job of these off-the-wall pieces. And this flick has one of the best original songs in horror history. It's awesome. But, it was a piece I've been looking for a while, so it's kind of cool to pick it up. All right, sorry for the cut there. But there weren't a lot of comics there. There's a couple tables here and there, and one table had a bunch of magazines out for sale. So I picked up this comic journal because it had a Neil Adams interview that I want to read. And then a couple of, Japanese tokusatsu books in there. I think one was like Oriental Heroes. One was Ultra Fan, which is in the same vein of G-Fan. I didn't know there was an Ultra Fan, so that's exciting. And then this Monster Maker Journal issue was just awesome. I always love stuff like that. Trigger Dreep dropped, probably the best Tarman to date. And I probably should have held off on them, but I got this McFarlane Movie Maniacs Leatherface thrown in the deal, so it really was worth the purchase. And I'm going to open him up tonight. He's such an awesome piece. I'm very ecstatic. And the last thing I ended up picking up was 2 shirts off the Paul Bearer Press. They make awesome shirts. Their artwork is amazing. Their quality is top-notch. But it's a shame they actually put the wrong shirt in my bag. I don't know why I didn't check that in there. But I was trying to get the Revenge of the Living Dead shirt, and instead they put in the Evil Dead shirt, which is still an awesome thing. But this guy's kind of bummed when I got home. And I think it's sold out on the website, so I can't even go back and order it. But I did get the Frankenogre t-shirt, and that's what matters. So I might reach out to them, see if I can swap or something, but it's not the end of the world. And then moving on, I picked up some good keys this past 2 months. So we can round it out with some keys. Second appearance of Adam Strange and Showcase Comics. That's a great issue. First appearance Adam Strange really isn't expensive as it should be, but it's a tough book. You don't see it. And second Adam Strange is really cheap, honestly, for what it is. There's a third Adam Strange there, too, but I ended up passing on it. Challenge to Unknown number 3 is another tough find, and it's the prototype of the Fantastic Four. Kobe wrote and illustrated this, I believe, a full year prior to FF1. 4 astronauts go up into space, get radiated, and come back down with powers. One of them can light things on fire. One of them stretches. The lady of the group turns invisible. And the fourth one is ice powers. But obviously, it would be later retold and retooled a little bit. But you can directly see what would go on to become the FF. And one of the most iconic teams and families in comic book history. The third key worth highlighting here, although I will say that Challengers 3 is an awesome book. I'm getting it pressed and clean now. I might submit it. I'm not quite sure. But it's just a book you never see it. I love those prototypes. The Mr. Freeze one's awesome. The Spider-Man one is awesome. There's the Doctor Strange one I want to find. The Magneto one. I'm a sucker for those. They're just neat. But the third key worth highlighting real quick is Showcase 55, first Silver Age appearance of Solomon Grundy. This is a tough book. It's not too hard, but it's kind of tough to get with that spine takes because of that purple color. But honestly, it's one of those books that you can't find his Golden Age appearances, his first appearance, his first cover is one of my favorite comics of all time. That cover is beautiful, or comic covers I should say, but I've never seen one in person. And if I ever do, I probably can't afford it really at any grade, especially a presentable grade, because it's impossible to find DC horror keys from the Golden Age. Good luck. So this is a great key that, if they ever do anything with Grundy, or even if not, I think will always be projected to go up. And it's just something I love to have in my collection, because I'm a big fan of Solomon Grundy. I think he's a super slept on DC rogue, and he deserves his due. So hopefully we'll see him show up to a greater extent in the live action. But honestly, even if not, it's not that I love Solomon Grundy. I would like to see him just for shits and giggles. And then, of course, also In Search of Darkness Part 3 shipped, which is super exciting. I might actually do a separate video for the In Search of Darkness trilogy, because now it's wrapped up. I've been, I was a backer in the first movie, and the first documentary, and I'm a huge fan of the In Search of Darkness trilogy. I think they're awesome. I love what they did with them, and it's a really great way to immortalize 80s horror, as it really is the best decade for horror. So I might drop another video in the future talking about all three of them, but I'm very excited to have that finally shipped in. But I tried to keep this video a little bit shorter than, I could go on all day talking about comics and toys and stuff that I bought at cons. But if you enjoyed, follow me here on Facebook and Instagram for more daily content, and join the Facebook group Fandoms Unleashed for a great inside look at comics and amazing discussions every single day. All linked down in the description. And until next time.